When reflecting on today's gospel, it could be really, really tempting to think that Jesus is trying to tell us that he's some sort of divine Santa Claus or some sort of magic genie who will grant whatever wish we ask of him as long as we ask in the right way. But that's really not what's going on here. Instead, the fact that Jesus talks about asking, seeking, and knocking, he's clearly pointing us to the fact that our prayer should be something that is a continual and persistent habit, rather than just a one-off emergency SOS plea that we fire up into the air when we find ourselves in desperate need of help, but then we don't commune with God in prayer at any other point or time. This should be something that is ongoing. It should be a habit that is regular, because it's only through that regularity of prayer that we can begin to better conform our will to the will of God, and we can build and strengthen that relationship between us and God. The other thing that's interesting is that when you ask for something, you seek something, you knock, you are looking for something outside of yourself. But to realize that you need something outside of yourself is to first accept that you need something outside of yourself. And to do that, you need humility. So there's very much a sense of that call to humility in our prayer. This is not about some sort of grandiose demand making. Instead, this is about coming with humility and seeking out something. It's also interesting, I think, just to think about those words that Jesus is using. Asking implies someone who is asking for some form of help in their life. Seeking is about someone who is seeking to go deeper into the truth. Knocking is all about trying to become a more full member of the community. You are outside, so you knock to be given entry. There's a sense here that prayer is about more than just me and my list of demands. Prayer is about ushering me deeper into the heart of Christ. It's also about ushering me deeper into the life of the community as well. And lastly, there's that notion that Jesus teaches us here that our prayer should be built on trust. Trust that God always has what is best for us in mind. And no matter how he answers our prayers, he is answering those prayers for our good, because he is like a father who cares for us and desires the best for us. Today's saint quote of the day comes from St. John Chrysostom, and he says this: "Whether therefore we receive what we ask for or do not receive it, let us still continue steadfast in prayer. For to fail in obtaining the desires of our heart, when God so wills it, is not worse than to receive it. For we know not as he does what is profitable to us." In other words, what he's talking about here is that trust that Jesus talks about in today's gospel. That trust that God is our good Father who knows what we need. You might have heard that old saying that there are only ever three possible answers to our prayers. Firstly, God can say yes. Secondly, he can say wait. Or thirdly, he can say no. Now, it's pretty easy when he says yes to the things that we desire. We're okay with that. But when we get that wait or that no, that can be really, really difficult. And it's in those moments when we have to continue in that relationship of trust, and we have to ground ourselves firmly in that belief, as Christ reminds us today, that God is our good Father, and that there is a reason why he has answered our prayers the way he has, because he sees more than we do. And sometimes that means, just like with my own children, I have to say no when they want me to say yes, or I might have to say wait when they want to do something right now. Whatever the answer is, we must always fall back on that trust and remember that God is our Father who art in heaven.